Hey guys, it's Eric Turner from Cover One, and today I am joined by John Vinson. What's going on, Johnny V?
What's up, Eric? How you been?
Good, man. Good. We got a wicked storm coming, so what better time on a Sunday to break down some film with you? Today, John, we're going to be looking at Jabrill Peppers, someone that I personally have not watched thoroughly yet. I know you got to take a glance at him. What are your thoughts on this player?
From the preliminary stuff I've read on him and watched, it's encouraging. He's got a lot of skill, and the only problem with him is that he plays so many different positions that it's hard to gauge, a true position for him. But what I do like about him is he's a football player.
Right.
Okay, he can play anywhere on the field for you. He can make plays with the ball in his hands. He's not afraid of contact, and he uses his leverage well. So lots of things to like from him. Where he fits in what scheme, that's to be determined. But overall, I think he's an intriguing prospect.
So right off the top, where would you play him? What type of player are you looking at? Is he going to be an offensive player, defensive player? Where are you putting him?
Well, I think I like him personally at box safety.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of a rover. Let him get out there a little bit. He'll contribute day one for you on special teams. So you can get his confidence level up right away, get him on the field early, and ease him into that back end of that defense. But yeah, I'm playing him at safety. I think that's where his skill set best suits him and his physical traits. I think he's too small to be a linebacker. At 208 pounds, he's not going to be able to hold up against those big offensive line. And at corner, I'm not sure if he has the fluidity in his hips to necessarily keep up with these receivers, but he likes contact. He can make plays over the field. He's rangy, so I do like him at safety, most notably in the box.
Okay, let's take a look at some of his stats here, just to get an idea, at his, the type of production that he brought while he was at Michigan.
He's playing around the line of scrimmage, so that's good.
Yep.
You can never have enough of those guys. Those are guys that like contact. So.
Right.
Can't have enough of those guys on your team, no matter
right.
what.
When you have that, that many tackles, for loss, it's usually a good sign of, quick diagnosis of the play. And yeah, he's in the box. He's making a lot of plays around the line of scrimmage. So there's 3 games we're going to look at today, John. And it's going to show a few of, his versatility. He's a kick returner, a punt returner, a running back, linebacker. He played the, safety. And the reason he can do that is because he's built, right? I mean, you said he's, 6'1", 205, 208, something like that?
Yep.
All right, so here's a video from Stack.com.
Great warm-up. Not even a good one. A great.
He's having fun in there. This is a grind. The weight room isn't the best place to be, especially, if it's early morning. You don't want to be lifting,
No.
You can see him. He's having fun. He makes – I think they reference it later. It's a grind, and, he's making it fun.
And he's stacked, just like the website. I mean, he's got the arms. I mean, look at those triceps on him. He's built like a fire hydrant. He can take the punishment, and he's going to deliver it as well. So keep him in the gym, keep him happy, keep him working out. And that's the thing with his game is you have to keep him involved, or he has a tendency of kind of losing track of the game a little bit, so to speak. So keep him focused, keep his mind in the game, keep him, prevalent in the game plan, and you'll see a player that responds and produces for you.
Right. And I mean, man, you're right. He's physically built. You can see why, he could play so many different positions. He's thick enough, to play with a linebacker mentality. And, his feet are good enough to play, safety or that box safety. And I mean, you can see as a running back, he's got the change in direction. He's got the feet to also play that position, but he's also thick enough where he's not gonna get put down on the ground with some arm tackles. I mean, he's got a muscular build. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and those frames, those are your prototype running back frames, strong safeties. I mean, those are guys that deliver punishment and can take it. So wherever he lines up on the field, whether that's linebacker in a 4-3 scheme or safety, he's going to be able to run and lay some lumber for sure. It's just, can he hold up against the old lineman if he gets input into the linebacker position.
Right. Check out this. I'll leave the sound on. Watch him run on this treadmill. So you could tell, man, he's having a good time. He looks like a workout warrior. I mean, I know we hear that term this time of the year, but he's in good shape, man. It seems like he's ready to roll.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready. Get him out there. So, I like his mentality in the gym. And those are things you want to see, though, are these guys, working out behind the scenes when the lights aren't on.
All right.
Because that's what makes the difference. That separates the good from the elite and so on and so forth. So, a lot of these guys are in that mode during the leading up to the combine.
Right.
You see guys that are in the gym heavy, and some of them may or may not be. That's something they're used to doing. But is this something that this guy's doing because he loves it, or is he doing it because he wants to get paid? And then once he gets paid and gets to the NFL, does that stop? I don't believe so. I think he'll be a player that you can count on as long as you keep him prevalent in the game plan each week.
Right. And, you don't get a body like that from just trying to cram in the weight room, 3 weeks before a combine. So you can tell he's put his work in, outside of, be on the field and whatnot. You can tell he puts his work in the gym. So the first game we're going to take a look at, John, and right off the bat, it's going to show his versatility, is the game versus Penn State. Right off the bat, again, we're going to show his versatility here. He's actually receiving the punt here in the first quarter. And, I mean, he does drop it here, but maintains his poise, picks it up, and a wicked return, gets some good blocks. And he's got decent, good vision for a guy that's played so many different positions. Different types of vision is good for certain positions. So that was pretty good run back, and it helped them in that first quarter against, Penn State.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's probably kicking himself he didn't score there, but he lost control of his gait there at the end. But all in all, he was able to weave through traffic and find a seam.
Right. All right. So right now, again, this is my first time looking at him, so I'm going to be messing with the rewind button up quite a bit. But obviously, it looks like a trips set to the field here, and he is at the hash, right off over the third wide receiver. And it looked like a run pass option. The quarterback is selling that fake down to the bottom just to hold, Peppers there. So he's not near the box to make a tackle, but eventually does get a piece of the running back. And this is what's hard, John, with, studying DBs, corners, safeties with college film, because you don't really get to see the whole field. So you only get to see them primarily if they're in the box or down near the box. So we're going to have to pick and choose which plays we actually and this is one we can actually break down, because you'll see here he's in the box, but he does blitz. And he does have that ability, right, John?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can get the edge, and he's crafty with his blitz timing, so he certainly can get to the quarterback.
And this is –
piece of that one?
Doesn't look like it, honestly. And he's kind of a delayed blitz. It might have been even a green dog where he has this running back, and if that running back stays in, he then is allowed to
Yep.
blitz. And it does look that way because you see him. He's not rushing immediately. They have a 5-man rush. They're sending this linebacker here, this player, and it looks like a green dog. As soon as he reads this running back staying in, then he gets the blitz. That's what it looks like to me.
Right, yeah, and it does. And he came hard too, so it's good to see that he diagnosed that quickly and made the best out of his opportunity there, although he didn't get to the quarterback.
Right, and here's another third. It's a 3rd and 7 play, and they actually bring him off the edge. It's just a 4-man blitz, but they're trying to get him free. You see at the top of the screen, these two guys, you'll see this guy twist inside, and they're just trying to occupy these two offensive linemen so that Peppers can come free. He does come free, but the interior pressure is actually what gets him. So, I mean, you can tell they use him in that way, John. They use him in the box. They use him, they try to blitz him a little bit. This was actually not a bad read. It looks like just like a little slip screen by the tight end. Ooh, nice lick there at the end, right?
Yeah, he diagnosed it, and he ran through the receiver, so stopped him short of the first down.
Right. And that's a good hit. I mean, I'd like to see him wrap, but I mean,
Yeah,
he's got.
see him wrap too, but he came with enough thunder there. It looks like.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice lick.
Absolutely.
Especially on a bigger tight end too.
Right, that guy's built. That guy's thick, so it's not easy bringing that guy down with a shoulder. So he's definitely coming with some thunder.
Right. Okay, so
the
3rd and 1 here,
Eric, the thing is you see here so far, though, is each play pretty much has been a little different than the next.
Right.
And they play him in so many different ways, which, in my opinion, to me, that shows confidence in a player. That shows that the coaching staff believes that this player can do multiple different things. So, I can't have that. It's hard to knock him for that, is what I'm trying to say. So,
right.
I like what he's doing, but go ahead with this play here.
No, there's good value when you have guys that you can put all over the field. And you know what? It's not easy because he has to know different coverages, different run fits from all different positions. So this is not easy. And you see him here. Looks like they're in straight man. He's lined up with the tight end, and it's just man coverage. And he's just gets in his hip pocket and runs with him. I mean, it was intended to run him off. That's why you see the tight end run towards the middle and just kind of seal him off. But see, I'd like to see him disengage here, at least show some kind of rip right here. See how that –
I see a hold.
You see
right there. That looks like holding to me.
It's not a hold if they don't call it, though. I don't know if they call it here. Again, this is my first time viewing it. But either way, technique-wise, you want to see him. If he's going to be in the box, he's got to have hand skills. He's got to be able to rip through that. That's an easy rip. You rip upward in a little jab, and he's off that. So, like I said, I don't know if this is actually called. And that running back, I think his last name Barkley. He's a good running back.
Yeah, he's a good running back.
So little things like that. So if he's going to be in the box, he can process the game, but he's got to have skills. Those are things he can work on. Don't get me wrong. And this, he's right here in the box, and he's walling off. It's a 2x2 set, and he's just walling off any crosser that comes across the middle. You see them come across, and he finds the ball, and it looks like there's just pressure off from the interior, and the quarterback extend.
And that Glasgow kid is nice, though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's good, man. He's a good player.
Yeah, him and Wormsley. Those are some true studs. I wouldn't mind taking either one of those guys at some point. But yeah, Glasgow right there is, man. He reminds me a lot of a poor man's J.J. Watt / Kyle Williams guy.
Yeah. Just
full motor, full tilt, interior guy. But yeah, no, the Peppers. I mean, you see Peppers out here, and he right here. If you look, diagnoses the play, attacks, gets the guy to throw the ball away. I mean,
and this is good, John. You know why? Because again, this is an extended play. As soon as that crosser leaves his zone, he really should be looking for another crosser. But in that split second, once that he knows that crosser number 12 is out of his zone, he tries picking up the ball, and he does that at perfect time because now is when that quarterback is leaving the pocket. So it was a good play by this backside, looked like a linebacker or DB. But this is huge because this is a running quarterback. They know that going in. This guy is going to want to extend plays and break the pocket. So this is a good play of forcing him to get rid of the ball and moving on to 2nd and 10. All right, so the next film we want to take a look at here in the Cover One film room is Jabrill Peppers versus Wisconsin. So Wisconsin it's a good film to take a look at because they run a lot of NFL type run concepts. So we're going to get to see, I imagine, some really good looks at Peppers versus the run versus a gap run team, a man run team where he's got to be able to recognize down blocks and certain type of blocks and play action type passing that you're going to see at the NFL level. So this should be an interesting game to take a look at and see how he does here.
Yeah, you notice he's in the box.
Yep.
I mean, you don't see him playing much.
And it seems like they use him a lot, John, manning up with tight ends. So how that would work if he was in the Bill scheme, that would be interesting. 6'1", 205, 210. He does have the tight end here. I don't know how that would hold up down the field, honestly. Would you trust him against a Gronk or any type of tight ends in that Patriot system?
No.
Yeah, that's what scares me, man.
Not what I've seen so far, and I'm just not seeing enough from him through the air.
Right.
And in our division, Eric, I mean, that's the number one priority is we have to draft and build our team, based off our divisions. So if our guys, we got Brady to deal with.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to win our division. It's hard to get into the playoffs with a wild card. So how do we beat our division? And that's to beat Brady. How do you beat Brady? You got to stop him. That's harder. It's not as easy said or done, but you got to stop the passing game because he'll cut you up the week after week. And with Gronk and Martellus Bennett and whoever else they bring in, those guys will destroy you through the seams. And right now, I'm not sure if we have the linebackers to cover those guys either. So you don't want to, double combat that with two guys can cover.
So here they got him at outside linebacker. Again, he's played inside linebacker. They had him as a slot corner. They had him deep. This is a play he does a good job of reading it, and it's you'll see the down block here. So he knows the play where the play is supposed to enter, and here comes the fullback right for him. So good read, and he actually avoids the block because he shoots that gap, man. I mean, look how fast, boom, he's through the hole.
Yeah.
Now, he's a little out of control.
Right.
But, I mean, there's enough pursuit to and it's so congested because of the personnel set here that you have a bunch of guys in the box. But it does prevent that running back from, bouncing outside, right?
Yes. I mean, he at least makes an impact on that play to, push him into his pursuit.
So far, I mean, his tackling does kind of worry me. He's very disruptive, regardless of what position they have him at. He's very disruptive, but his tackling leaves a little to be desired, honestly, especially, in open field. We've seen a couple clips,
And that's something that you would expect for him to excel in. So for that to be one of his weaknesses, that's more concern on top of, the lack of cover skills.
And when I'm watching this film again, this is my first time actually watching him thoroughly. The feeling I get for him, I don't see him really as a first rounder, but I could see where he could be valuable to teams because I could see him as like a third safety coming in, on special downs. Kind of like what the Patriots do with their three tight ends, and they'll play a lot of three tight end sets, three safety sets, and with Harmon and those guys. To come in and just do special type, responsibilities like this. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, first round though, man, I don't know. You'd have to go to the right system, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what system that is. But the more I watch him, the more the value goes down just because some of the key traits you look for at the position that he's going to be playing at, which I think is box safety, he doesn't really necessarily have. So now, again, like you said, he's out of control sometimes in the open field when making tackles. His coverage skills are subpar. But then again, he does disrupt plays, which counts. That does, it might not count necessarily.
There's a place for that.
Stat sheet.
definitely.
Right.
And see, on this play, he's right here in the slot, and they are actually doing a combo coverage here where if this receiver were to just come across the middle, this DB is going to take it, and he's just going to fall over the top. So, I mean, you got to be able to identify what he does well and what he doesn't do well. Is there a reason why this coverage is called? It looks like they're locking or man coverage up top. So maybe they're trying to shut down the middle of the field to this guy. Maybe it's strategy. Maybe it's because of him. Maybe he can't just be a deep safety or deep hash safety, because eventually that's what this will turn into based on the route, you know? So, I mean, that's stuff you have to be able to identify in film, and it's not the easiest thing to do.
No, it's not. And, you know, and again, to his credit or what have you, he didn't really necessarily get the full, you know, complement of time at a specific position to grow within.
True.
So, you know, if you put him in a position and keep him there, can he grow into that role and be a productive player? Maybe he certainly has the physical traits to do so, but you know, you'll have to see it, and you'll have to see it consistently. So that's the one thing I think, that if someone, you know, likes his competitive toughness enough and think his physical traits are worthy, then I think someone will take a chance on him and give him the opportunity to contribute in the defense.
I mean, if we look in recent history and the type of guy that he's going to be, that box safety, maybe that hybrid role. I mean, as recently as last year, I mean, you saw Cravens go. He won the second round. I mean, was Cravens better than Peppers? I think he was.
I mean, his tape suggested he was. You know, and he certainly had more splash plays, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, those are what you know. I value those a lot. You know, guys that consistently make splash plays. You know, you can count on them guys to do that. Keep doing that, but. Yeah, so if that tells you anything, that means he's probably a second rounder, you know, and that's probably a true value for him. Now, he may get pushed up, again, based off his physical traits and his versatility, because things like this, there's value in this, you know, here.
This is huge value, John, and let me interrupt you here. Having done punt returns, this is not an easy job, all right? And he's got to gauge the ball, and he's got to gauge this guy coming full speed at him. And I always have thought that the most important cut on a punt return is that one, is that very first cut. That first cut sets up your blocks down the field, and it gets you away from these gunners that are usually coming free, full bore right at you, right? I mean, that's wicked right there. That's really good, and it's split second. I'm putting it in slow-mo, but, I mean, that's split second thinking you have to have. But where should that ball be now that he's running to the left sideline? Should be in his left hand.
Should be on the outside hand.
Yeah, little things that you know me played running back. That's something I worked on.
And again, that's probably exactly. And that's
You're right.
You know, I was telling you a little bit, of not to get off topic here too much, but Christian McCaffrey, holy crap, does that guy switch his ball hand like it's like Marshawn, dude. Just no matter whatever side it's supposed to be on, it's on that side. But again, Jabrill Peppers isn't a running back, but I'll take the 10-yard gain on the punt return all day.
Right. And this is a good play here. You know, he's playing to the field again, which it's a good spot for him. I mean, he has the athletic ability to cover ground, whether he's blitzing as a secondary blitzer or just dropping his zone like this. I mean, and it looks like
that's where he should be at all times. Like that right there, like if you can go back to the beginning of that play, like that is his position right there. Whether that's zone here, whether that's blitzing, whether that's coming in and spying, whatever the case may be, that's where I feel like his value is in that particular area of the field, whether that's 10 yards back or 10 yards upfield, whether that's blitzing or to drop it. So, that's certainly – he can cover that particular area of the field, no question.
And it looks like he's just outside the linebacker box here. And it's a rollout to the field again. It's actually nothing too special, but he stays in the play and makes a tackle.
So how much value do you personally put on so you have a player that, let's say, he grades out to a mid-second tier, second round player, but then you add in his special team versatility. how does that bump him into the first round?
I
Or
mean,
do you keep him?
I wouldn't say I won't go out on a limb and say it bump him into the first round. It all depends on what your special teams is too. It's a need by need basis,
Right.
team by team basis. So I don't think it bump you up into the round. I think it's one of those footnotes that you add in a scouting report that hey, he also can do this. So if I have two players from the same position, and they're neck and neck as far as grades go, you want a little more. Especially if he's not going to start right away, you want a guy that can contribute somewhere on that 53-man roster.
And that's why when I opened up the podcast by saying this is a guy that you can get on the field day one on special teams,
right,
and contribute and get his confidence level up, because that's what you need from young players is to get their confidence up. And if you break a couple punts or a kick return here or there, but then you get them out on the field on defense, that a lot of times that translates.
Right. And I mean, this play is pretty much nothing special, but again, how is he leading with his hands? He is, and he's going against, it seems like a bigger tight end, and the tight end does blow him off the line of scrimmage. I mean, his eyes are up, but he's only engaged with one hand. So, I mean, this may be, me scrutinizing or analyzing, but this, you can still grade someone off of this because, I mean, his eyes are up. He's still got his, eyes in the play in the backfield. But it also shows his balance and strength. I mean, look at him. He's holding this guy off with one hand and withstanding the drive block from that tight end. So, I mean, it's minor, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think there's something to it with his arm length. I, for some reason, feel he's not going to have the length.
Mm-hmm.
That
does worry me.
So we'll see.
I don't know what he's actually doing here. It's a play action, but it's a fake to no one, and the running back is just slipping out. I don't understand what he saw here, honestly, because I mean he's looking
right around.
He's got direct line of sight on this tackle. As soon as that tackle is up like that, that's a high hat. That means it's a pass. Get to your zone. So it almost looks like he's just cheating and reading this running back, for some reason. So I don't know what he's doing here. He should be immediately dropping. And
I think what you're seeing is you're seeing him initially reading this running back, and then once the quarterback flips that way, because see how he did that? That was an awkward flip of the body by the quarterback right there to go back to the running back.
Yeah.
So it's like he initially went to him, turned away from him, and then went back to the running back. And essentially, the quarterback, he flipped around, made Jabrill flip around too. Same type of play.
I hear you, but I'm telling the main key. It's awkward, and it could have been a blown play for all we know. As far as this fake and what was supposed to happen here, but he should be keying this tackle, and that tackle's up. Because look, I mean, even this guy, he's usually reading guard to near back. Even he's not taking more than his 2 pointer steps, because usually your first 2 steps are pointer steps. So it's either forward, okay, now it's pass. He takes several steps forward and then turns all the way around to get back to his zone. So I mean, he was a little slow on the diagnosis on that, and actually kind of put him in a bind. Honestly, luckily that running back.
Yeah.
All right, I missed. Where is he at here? All right, he's up top. So it looks like they're a 3-on-2. So they have 3 guys in coverage responsible for these 2 receivers. That ends up being man coverage based on the release here. And these 2, now you can see them, they're both working this guy. So if this guy comes to the post, he'll have him and go from there. This is ugly. This is really ugly by the quarterback. It looked like they put him in a pickle a couple times. You see him here. What is he supposed to do? They're both kind of confused. The communication's off. So they had him on his toes a little bit in this game. All right, so he's at the top of the screen again here. Oof. All right, we'll take a look at that one real quick. All right, so he's got he's got inside leverage, right? He could be reading it based on this guy. It looks like it's just straight man, inside leverage, single high, and I mean just a 1 step, and he's trying to get it to this receiver out here. I don't know if that's a tight end or receiver, but so how does he read that, 3 to 5 step slant? I mean, pretty good angle on it, right? I mean, if that receiver would have catched that, did he have a good angle to make that tackle? I think he would have had a decent angle to make that tackle.
His closing speed looks decent.
All right, so again, he's in the slot, and they are doing another combo coverage. So these guys look like they're in man posture. So they're just working combo coverages. And this is something I don't bring up our game from last year, but the Bills did this a lot versus the Jets, which ended up hurting these guys on the outside because we were so focused on stopping Eric Decker over the middle. We ran these combo coverages, which a lot of people thought, oh, we only played one man and weren't helping our corners here. Well, no, I mean, they ended up in combo coverages for a reason, but so again, I don't know. You don't really see too much because, the all 22, how he is in coverage down the field. I'd like to see more of that. Maybe in the bigger game we get to see later versus Ohio State, maybe you'll see a little more of the aerial footage of him covering down the field. And this you don't want to see. All right, so he's in the box. He has, he has a gap here, responsible for a run gap, and he ends up backing up. That you don't want to see. That's a negative right there. That's not good. And they're running a heck of a stunt up front here. And it's just a gap run. So I don't like seeing that, John. I don't like seeing him moving away from the line of scrimmage, especially running. He's running away from a lineman that's coming to get him. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, out of every single play we've watched so far, I haven't seen an impact play yet. I'll be honest with you.
You have a point there. Do you want a guy that does a lot of things good, or do you want a guy that does, 2 things
one
great?
thing great.
Or 1 or 2 things great. Yeah. So this is not a first round value. I'm sorry. I don't know how. I'm not seeing it. Again, we've only watched 2 games, but my gut feeling is this guy's not a first round pick.
I'm not seeing it, at least off these 2 games so far, which should be the 2 bigger ones of your conference.
Right.
I haven't seen anything that suggests a first-round value.
I mean, it does seem like he reads run pretty well. But as far as – let me get a little quick return here. So, and this is part of why he's so appealing because, like you said, the versatility. He took a look there, but I mean, it's tough to see with him. I see some decent, mental processing of plays, mainly run plays. I don't think he is as good versus play action pass and whatnot. So here it looks like there's only 2 backers on this play. So he's playing inside backer. Does a good job of avoiding that block coming down from the tight end. And it's a pin and pull run. You'll see the center and left guard pull here. Running back's aiming for outside the tight end. Tight end gets up inside. So good job by this player right here, taking out the blocker but keeping the play inside. And you got to make a play there. I mean, this is your alley as this linebacker. This play right here, he's got to make a play here. And I don't know if it's a swim move because it's a little blurry. The swim move and the suddenness of it, but I don't know if he slips or if it's the guy tripping him from behind him, which is probably the guy tripping him behind him.
Yeah.
Which that shouldn't happen either because look at the spread between these 2 linebackers. That shouldn't happen either, but he's got to make that play there. That's a play he's got to make if they're going to put him in the box like that.
I'm just not. Here we go.
I mean, he got a hit on the quarterback here. I think he had 5 or 6 of these QB hits this season. It's pretty good rush. You see a little slight – he dips right at the end. This is versus a tackle, so this is a good rush play to break down. See him dip right there.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. I like seeing the dip. He shrinks that blocking surface area. You see that lineman, his strike zone is really small now because he got small right there. So that was really good. That was a good rush there. That's probably his best rush I've seen. On a 3rd down, too. On a 3rd down, let's keep that in perspective. That was a 3rd down. That's when they needed to play. That might be one of the first critical plays that he's made on a big down. So I do like that.
And you think about it, it wasn't just a design, get him a free look at the quarterback. Like you said, he had to be the tackle to get there.
Look at that. That's a nice dip.
Bends the arc.
Yeah, he does.
He
stands
there, he got a little, and then he cuts in.
Right. And he did it mid-stride. You see that tackle right there extend and push and use his power to push him wide. And, he withstands it right there. You see him catch himself, and that's when he's turning the corner now. Mm-hmm. So it was a good play. But, look at his size, though. You look at the difference, man. Is he really 6'1", though? That'll be interesting.
You'll see at the line. He's probably not, but
the way I look at it, John, is if the website of Michigan lists him as 6'1", he's not 6'1".
Oh, yeah. Absolutely not. He's like 5'3".
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's probably closer to 6 foot, 5'11", I bet.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
This is an interesting spot. They have him here on first down. Looks like they have him right inside, the tackle here. He takes on the tackle. I don't know what the tackle's doing, dipping his head like that, but, he works through it. So that's the type of physical toughness I want to see. He doesn't really lose too much ground. Obviously he's not in the play, but different place to be putting your, box safety / linebacker. So
I think that's why you hear so much talk about him playing linebacker is because how often he is around the line of scrimmage. And, he doesn't necessarily – again, this is college kids. We're seeing kind of getting washed away in a little bit. So you can only imagine what's going to happen once he gets to the pros. So
right,
it's going to be a tough sell for me in the first round for Peppers, and we shall see. But I think it's
some of the mock drafts you've seen. He's going in the first round, right?
Yeah, I've seen him as high as top 10.
That's crazy to me.
I know, like at this point, to have him in the top 10 after seeing this, it's just not trustworthy. I think he's a fringe first rounder to a team that is already built that just needs maybe a versatile guy like this,
right? Or
a second round pick, mid-second.
And this, he doesn't make the play here, but he does his job here, and I want to see more of that. He's got to box this player. He's the force player here, so he needs to keep this play inside, especially out to the field. So he does a good job here of taking on those the pulling linemen, and just forcing this back to have to force it because he's waiting, to make that cut, and this is the cut against the grain, and and then the pursuit can pick it up. So good job of doing his job there. He got roughed up a little bit.
Right. But, that's part of it, It's sometimes you got to take on a couple blocks for the pursuit to get there, So instead of letting that guy go to the outside and, next thing you know, that's a 20-yard gainer.
Right. And, it seems like when they matched him up in man coverage, it was versus a tight end. And from what we've seen so far with Wisconsin, not that they were trying to target any of the tight ends, but they weren't. It looks like, he glues to the guy, gets in his back hip, and that's it. But you haven't seen him really cover too many receivers. Saw one play that was tipped that was supposed to go to a receiver, but here's one that he's in a slot, and again, they're using it. See, they're doing this for a reason, man. They don't want him to get beat deep. Because, this ends up, again, because they're running – I wish they would show it from another angle. There's a reason why they have someone over the top like that defending the post, because they have outside leverage on him, and they have someone defending the post or deep. So, to me, there's
He's got one responsibility with that player, and that's good coaching, in reality,
right?
Because certainly his strengths isn't deep like that. So, but that's worrisome as an evaluator. You're like, well, I need him to be more versatile than that against the pass,
right?
Having to sway my coverage to his side just so that we don't get torched.
Now, this is not okay either. He has to force that play inside, and he does, but it's the method of doing that. I don't like him. Look at it, he's turning his back.
Yeah.
Your eyes you're not even in this play right now.
Right.
You're not leading with your hands. You're reading. As soon as he reads this down block, he's got to know plays coming at him. All right. This down block right here, and then he sees the guards pulling. So he does a good job getting upfield to the boundary, but he should be leading with his hands and not turning his back. That's not good. I don't like that play by him there. So 3rd and 5 here, and they line him up inside and blitz. Honestly, I can't believe they didn't get that first down. So they tried disguising it here, and it just it's a 4-man rush, but they're trying to set up Peppers to get right in this quarterback's face, and then they do a good job of setting it up because of this D tackle right here. You see him slant hard inside to occupy this guard here, and it opens up. Peppers come up the middle, and good cut block by the running back. So they design plays to get him to the quarterback. So that's again, it's a trait. It's something that he does well, and it's rushing the passer.
But the thing is, I haven't actually seen him get to the QB yet.
Get to the QB, yeah.
I mean, there was that one play where he did bend and get there, but that's 2 interceptions so far I've seen by number 8, though, since we've been watching this tape.
Man coverage there. I like, jamming him at the line of scrimmage and then turning the hips and running with him. Let's see where he's at downfield. It looks like he was with him pretty much the whole time. He's right there. I don't know who that tight end is, but not bad. But again, they like lining him up straight man on tight ends. But as we know, John, tight ends in the NFL are a lot more athletic than I'm.
If you go back to that play though, this is one of my favorite plays so far I've seen from him.
Working through the traffic here.
Working through traffic and getting them out of bounds quickly.
So so let's take a look at down and distance situation football. 1st and 10. 3 minutes left. Wisconsin's just starting the drive off. It appears. They're a ranked team, so they're good. They're 4-0. This is a big game. So this is drive starters are key. First plays of drives are really important. So he does it. Yeah, he does a good job. This corner appears to be in man. There's a man turn there. He's running across the field, and he does a good job of working through this traffic right here, that's the point of this route right here. This little, it looks like a spot concept where he's running a spot route right here. He's running a corner, and they're just swinging this out to the running back. So that's a very good play, and he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
And this is 2 minutes left, 4th quarter, down by 7 or up by 7, game on the line. This is a telling tape right here. We should see, we're so far, first play, his game has risen. Right. He diagnosed the play and came with authority. So let's see if this continues.
So on this play, it just, again, it's that combo coverage. And because of the release outside, it becomes man. So it's now man coverage. He's man on man with that guy. It's just a bad throw. It looked low. So, the cover when they put him in coverage, John, it doesn't look like it's too complex. They're just letting him play. And that was actually a good move by the receiver there. Yeah.
He got him turned out. Yep, right there.
Right, because he knows that
if he wanted to go to that seam, that's open. Because right there, he actually did get his hips to flip and
right. All right, big down here, 4th down. They have him in the middle of the field, and it looks like they're using him as a waller. And then so he is looking to the bottom of the screen here. It's 2-by-2 set, but his eyes immediately come to this number 1 receiver. And once that receiver releases upfield, you see him turn his eyes to the backfield. So he's got that middle zone area after that guy clears his zone. Oh, is that Lewis? That was nasty.
Wow.
I do remember that.
One-hander.
And that's we'll get off base here, but you see off the bat, he's in man coverage. Good release off the line of scrimmage, gets Lewis to jump outside, but Lewis has that ability to flip his hips and then just run. I
And
mean,
the ball still, so look at that. I mean, look at this. He's flying literally through the air. And then he snags it. Oh, my God.
I mean, bad throw, but you know what? All the positives go to Lewis here. That was disgusting.
That was nuts.
All right, so that's the end of that film. So, I mean, so far, John, I think we're on the same page. I don't see it. I don't see him as a first rounder. Maybe, you know,
No.
I mean, where did Cravens go? Did he go like 36 or something like that? Or
Yeah, I think he
went in
did.
the
He
30s,
went
right?
early top second round, top half of the second round. Let's say that. I think that's.
That
I
might
don't
be
know.
high for me, bro.
And I kind of like Craven's his game a little better.
I do too, yeah.
From what I saw just from the college tape. So
Even as a rusher, I mean, Cravens as a rusher was much more effective and had more splash plays.
mhm.
But I don't know.
It's interesting to see. It's funny too because I have read some articles recently that suggest that don't be surprised if he does fall out of the first round and maybe farther. So
It's still February. I mean, especially,
it's
you know,
February, but
once
the tape is done.
yeah,
Eric,
you're right.
So,
Right.
I mean, there's no more games to be played. So, I mean, what he does at the combine, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but
I think I think his combine will have and his pro day will have a tremendous impact on him as a player and where he's going to be drafted because we don't, you know, if he's going to be a box player, like again, that arm length means something. You know,
especially even at linebacker, it means something.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because
and then
he probably needs more at linebacker.
And
right.
you know, what is he going to run? He doesn't look that fast straight line speed wise. His play speed's good. You know, he's able to, you know, combine that play speed, you know, the ability to process the play and, you know, get to that point. It's good. But as far as straight line speed, I don't think he has it.
Fast. I mean, I think he's more quick than fast. I think his short shuttle will be pretty good. But his 40 time, high 4.5s, 4.6, which is, you know, it's good speed, but I don't think it's anything to write home about.
Right.
I think you'll see him pull numbers up on the bench.
Right. Yeah, I would think so.
I think you're pretty confident in that. But if I had to gauge him right now, man, his arrow's pointing down a little bit, and I probably would have to say he's fallen out of the first round for me, just
right.
based off those two particular game films. And I mean, how much more do I mean, I've seen almost every play out of those two games, and I mean, maybe one or two plays that mattered, and you know, how many more game tapes do I really need to watch to see? I understand he's a versatile player. He can do things in every respect of the game. Right. But like you said, do you want a guy that's good at everything or great at one or two things? And I think I want someone that's great.
All right, so here's the game versus Michigan. We'll look at the scoreboard real quick. You'll see that Michigan's ranked number 3. They're 10-1 versus Ohio State, who's number 2 in the country at 10-1. 2nd and 5 situation, and you know, this is the first time we've seen it. We get to see Peppers at the running back position. He's in the Wildcat, and he receives the snap here and does a good job on this gap run, John. He he's patient, lets that guard get up in front of him and take on Raekwon McMillan, who we can talk about him real quick because I like the guy too, man. Look at Raekwon lead
in there.
Those hands. See, that's what you want to see from a linebacker.
Not backing up.
Yeah, he's man. Right, hold his ground, right? But yeah, that was a good run. I mean, obviously, got the first down for them. It was patient, and you know, they're pulling out all the stops. It seems.
You know, and you know, looking at it now, it almost seems like maybe he may be better off at tailback. He looks like a tailback.
He kind of does, right? He does have that build.
He's got the tailback build to him, so you know, maybe consider him a tailback. But again, how much tape you got on him at tailback? You know,
right. And I know I mentioned again, this is the first time I've actually watched him thoroughly. So I haven't watched any tape of him running the ball, honestly, besides like, you know, the highlight films or whatnot. But and and most of his film from this year is it seems like it's a lot on defense. Ooh, took a little punch there.
Yeah, a couple.
guy had it out for him.
I'm not sure what his assignment was there, but it almost seemed like he ended up in the same spot as Gideon, the middle linebacker.
Well, let's try to take a look at that. All right. It looks like this D lineman has the B gap here, and he should have. He might be just a secondary run filler, John. So basically, he's in essence a safety coming down and, as secondary
cleaning
run
up the gap. I got you. Mm-hmm.
Especially because what's going to happen here is this quarterback could pop out the backside, and he could be accounting for him.
I got you.
I mean, so he could be folding over here if this quarterback does keep it, which it's JT Bear. They do that a lot. So again, just in the box, nothing too special there. I thought he was going to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
So he works past on the outside of the tight end, and tries getting in the passing lane there. Pretty good throw and really accurate and strong throw there. Let's see how close he gets to that one. Looks like he just missed it, man.
Just missed it. He might even have got a finger on that,
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't maybe slow the trajectory.
All right, now we get to see him in some coverage here. Good. I'm glad I get to see this. All right, so he's got inside leverage on this guy. It's 3rd and 6, critical down, obviously. And that receiver releases outside. And is trying to get across Peppers' face. Peppers does a good job using his hand. Looks like he may have gotten a hold there on the hips. But just that, try to watch him full speed, change of direction, boom, drops his hips, turns. Not bad there. Receiver did get inside leverage, but I mean, it was a good play. There's really nothing wrong there.
No.
Wow. See. Oh. All right. So we have, he's reading this. It looks like it's a design zone read. And this guy shows his numbers. And, Peppers does the right thing, keeps the ball. But see, I don't see that explosion, John. You know what I mean? I don't see that.
Yeah.
He's not pulling away from this D line.
Hooker?
That's not that right there. That's not Hooker. That's a DN.
That cleans up here.
Right there, yeah. I just don't see it there. I mean, not that he would have made a play because, yeah, you're right. Hooker is there, but I don't know. He didn't pull away from that DN like I would have expected.
Was that Bosa? No. I mean, he stayed square that end, though. I mean, he held his ground pretty much as good as it gets.
It was a good play. All right, so now we have them back inside. Looks like they're just trying to run an speed option outside. Good job by that corner. See, and these are the type of things
Lewis
like
kid's nice.
That corner, this is a hell of a play, and let's talk about it because a lot of times when these type of guys, and we do it with Robert Woods, you'll see the coordinator will motion this guy into the box. Why? Because offensive coordinators like to leave corners free. They don't believe in blocking corners, and that's something Alex Gibbs, talks in his clinics. The guy that taught the zone run,
zone read,
the outside zone run blocking scheme. They don't like to block corners. They like to leave them free, and so that was a hell of a play by Lewis, recognizing that and getting downfield and making that tackle. Good recognition.
That defense is stout, man. That's another thing you got to think about, Eric, is all this talent around Peppers. Is that inflating his draft stock as well? I mean, you got a guy like Charlton, Wormley, Glasgow, Lewis. All these guys are potential first, second, third round picks, including Jabrill Peppers. So, you got to take that into consideration too. How much of this is he generating on his own as far as the production?
Right. And the thing I do like about, and we've talked about this already, this is good communication. Look at these 3 guys. All right. they're manned up here. They're manned up here. So these guys are locked. So these two receivers have to be played with these three players. And you see them communicating to each other there. It looks like they've been signaling box, which is a coverage that we play. So these guys are, in essence, it's a triangle versus these two guys right here. So based on their routes is where the coverage is going to go. And that's why you see this linebacker kind of walling that guy off. You'll have a guy deep. If they're running a drive concept where this guy runs across the middle and this guy's running a deep dig, that safety over the top will have him, and he'll just kind of sit in the hook the curl zone or flats. So that's an NFL type coverage right there. You know, of course, you don't really get to see him in coverage, but you see him. He's still in the play there. That's good. Oh, this is perfect. So Barrett gets out of the pocket, and so where it looks like Peppers is right here, there's really no one open, honestly. He does see that crosser coming in and, you know, breaks on it. So that was a good play by him, recognizing, you know, the initial route combo, and then, you know, the extended play and staying in his zone and staying true to that. So not bad there. That's a pretty good play.
Not mad at that play, for sure.
Oh, that was nice. I like that little cut back there. Of course, they didn't get too many yards on it, but it does that little jump cut. He's got more of a frame of a running back. I would agree with you there. And it seems like his vision and his like one cut, you know, type vision and jump cuts are one of his better traits. So it's something you want to use. You're probably going to get more value out of it from the running back position.
Yeah.
There's a good fill. I mean, it is against a quarterback, but I don't know what that tight end was doing. This guy is supposed to be blocking him.
Yeah.
It's an obvious read.
I think he kind of just played him with his feet there. Peppers, he manipulated the tight end with his feet to get him off his spot to attack.
Good play.
You got to think, and again, this is against Ohio State, which is by far their biggest game of the year, regardless, and usually against the better of the talent they'll see all year as well.
Right.
So, good barometer of as far as, you know, guys he may see at the next level.
So this is almost similar blitz that they used last game, but instead of this guy blitzing, this inside backer blitzing, it was actually our boy Peppers there. But this time they drop him to the deep middle. 3rd and 8, he finds the receiver. He finds the primary receiver on 3rd and 8. It just seems like he's a little late breaking on it. See, I mean, as soon as he saw him, I don't know why he didn't break on it. I mean, the receiver even slowed up his route and kind of just sat in that window that was wide open. So I don't know if it was supposed to be man there, but it looked like he's had deep middle. So again, he in coverage. They don't really give him too much responsibility. They don't try to overwhelm him. They don't want to give him too much space either. So did he get the first down there?
It looked like he did.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him. It looked like he got it by a half a yard. And again, see, so he wants to play offense. He's got a defensive, mindset. Make him a running back.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like that would be because he's built like one. Like you said, some of his best attributes are his jump cuts and his feet. So, why not put him where he can, thrive? But again, There's no tape on that.
All right. And this is another combo coverage call. They're just working the pass strength here, and he does a good job flipping his hips and just running with him. I do that. I think that is a tight end though, right? It looks like a tight end. Running down the field. I don't know. I'd like to see more tape on him covering down the field, honestly.
I don't think there's a lot of it, to be honest with you.
it's kind of similar, like I said, to Cravens last year, and what was the other guy? Cash, was it Cash?
Jeremy Cash.
Yeah, very similar to him. Here we go. He takes a snap out of the shotgun. I like the decisiveness to just get outfield. There's not much there. He does see a little lane open up right here, so he does, take it. So he's got decent vision, man. He senses Raekwon.
Guy McMillan though. McMillan, look at he set that up beautiful.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He knows that's his gap. That's his gap.
Yeah.
And he does a good job of what? He's got control of the offensive lineman. He's got his eyes around here, so his right arm's free. He's able to hold off that tackle there. That's a good play by him, which does force Peppers back up inside. But they held their ground, man. It was 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain. This is always one of those, awesome games to watch because mainly with sound too, because it just puts you in that atmosphere, 100,000 plus.
Yeah, these are usually Duke outs.
Right.
Where's he here now?
He's right here, I believe. Yep. All right, so here's the read, man. He should be crashing. He should be over the top on the quarterback, and then this will be the pitch man that's picked up by the arcing tight end. So as far as responsibilities go, I think he was in good position to take Barrett if Barrett had kept the ball there. I just don't see that explosion, man. I'm not seeing anything there. That they actually asked him to cover a lot of ground on that one. So it looked like he had hooked the curl the flats because this guy's over the top. So hook the curl the flats. As soon as that guy runs to the flats, he breaks on it. So that was one of the few plays that he actually had, a lot of ground to cover. And if they would have had a better throw, probably would have completed that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, just not seeing any splash plays or anything that really jumps off the tape, to be honest with you, at all right now. This front four looks good. They're getting a lot of pressure, which is certainly helping him out, but
right.
Just not seeing enough, man. No.
And they asked him to do a lot of this, and that's usually what happens for guys that are kind of in between safety and linebackers. They ask him to just wall off guys. You see him. Anyone that's coming across, he's supposed to just wall off, and then if that guy sits in a window, he's supposed to break on it. So they're not giving him a lot of responsibility. Let's see what he can do here on the kick return. That's really nice moves right there.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Okay, I got to go back real quick.
There you go.
So he sets this guy up beautifully. Okay, see, I like that cut.
Right there. I mean,
that's a really nice cut. But then he stacks a cut on a cut. He just finished that cut. Now he's got his eyes up. That's really good vision to jump cut right there.
Most guys blow their knees out trying to do that cut.
Right. So he's got that lower body strength. You can see his legs. I mean, he's got dense legs and very muscular calves, obviously. To have the torque and able to withstand that type of pressure on your lower body, that you got to have leg strength to do that.
And then to hit the acceleration button right here to get upfield.
Look at him getting fancy there with the spin move on the kicker.
Doesn't look like he necessarily has the long speed.
No.
But I think we already touched on that. But, I mean, he's dangerous.
Okay, so as a guy that's going to be in the box, he's got to have at least the speed to cover crossers. He's got outside leverage here, and I don't know if this is a tight end or what, but as soon as that guy breaks across the middle to cross the field, he's got to be able to close that gap. And does he do it here?
He stays a little flat.
He stays, it doesn't look like he has that kind of closing speed. I mean, the only reason he caught up to this guy is because the guy, it looked like he's, double caught it.
Behind him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good placement. It was behind him. So that actually helped Peppers recover here. So Speed, I don't like his speed. And he's going to be in situations like this where he's going to have to cross. Yeah, see, I don't see it there, John.
No.
And he kind of drifts. You'll see him drift. This guy's crossing, and he has his eyes on the quarterback. It's not a bad job there, but he's still kind of drifting and getting depth.
Yeah,
It's
that's
at
what
this
I'm,
point right here.
Flat, right there, he stays too flat where
Yeah.
he should be driving right there, and consequently, that's in separation and a reception. So
I mean,
yeah, man, yeah, you're right, absolutely. I like to say that these two corners though, golly,
right?
Eric. I mean, 8,
There we go.
26. Here it is. There's our guy.
All right, so he's off the screen, and based on that location, hopefully they show from another angle. He's obviously a safety over the top type situation, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll show another angle here.
Geez, maybe he's better off at free safety. You know, maybe better off at center field.
All right, so no, they have two safeties deep there, so he's an over-the-top corner there, maybe out of the slot. Can't really see it. I mean, it should have been caught.
Ooh. Yeah.
But that right there, man, I don't know, man. Like, he's got some good first steps right there, you know, as far as agility goes, like,
Right
boom,
there.
boom. Like, that's really – you can't teach that, man.
You can't teach that. And that's why, again, that goes back to his running back. Here we go. This might be a little better tell what happened here.
See, I don't see him, you know, backpedaling often. It's this short little, you know, shifty, you know, sidestepping, not necessarily backpedaling. Yeah. I'm not going to get a better angle. And so, yeah, they like to line him up here, but it appears, I mean, you see the safety right here, IN number 2. They want to show him as a corner like he's going to cover this guy, but really he's just a forced defender here on 1st and 10.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they just want to get him on the field.
Yeah.
They'll try to.
I don't know. We've said it several times. I'm not impressed. I'm not first round impressed. Here's
right.
It looks like they run that same concept as before. You know, just trying to set a pick on him because they know he's going to have the flats here. And they didn't get the ball in. Playing with zone eyes there. You'll see he's not playing any man. His eyes are in the backfield, playing with his own eyes. And he's not really, you know, making up too much ground, 3rd and 7. And they do complete it. So he's, again, not much responsibility, not much. And they aligned him there. Seems like, I mean, he's always to the field, it seems. So he does have, obviously, he can get from middle of the field to maybe the numbers, but I don't think he's a middle of the field to sideline type guy. This just looks like, obviously they're in a shotgun, but it looks just like a double ISO where they're just leading on those inside backers with the 2 lead backs.
Yeah, they got that sniffed out.
Yeah, they do. They know when he's in that he's going to be running it. And here he gets hooked. See, and this is good coaching. You know, they know he's focused on this motion man. What's this motion man going to do? He's reading his keys here, and he's not even worried about this guy. And what's that guy do? Just, you know, use an angle to seal him off and to get the perimeter. It's good coaching right there.
Where are all the plays at, man? Where are all the plays at, Eric?
This time he was deep. But again, he wasn't a factor in the play. He's to the field again, to the bottom here. Man coverage versus that tight end. I don't see anything special on this play. I mean, he's outside leverage, and he sees the guy crossing, and he just stays with him. There's really nothing too special as far as coverage goes on that man. I don't know where a lot of these evaluators are seeing first-round talent on this.
Mm-mm. That Wormley guy, though, 43, is showed up almost on every play.
Right, and he does seem I haven't watched tape on him, but he does seem like the blue-collar, hard worker type Kyle Williams, kind of guy.
Good.
Kind of like Ben Boulware with Clemson, he's just a playmaker. He's intelligent and just gives it 110%.
He looks good. There's some good players on this defense, and again, like I said, it's another red flag. How good was his defense around this player, and did they cover up some of his, shortcomings?
Right, and this is just with the motion by the offense. He's just shifting down, and it looks like there's safety here, so I imagine there's a safety over here. And based on him and just the action from these linebackers, I guess, second-level guys, you'll see them drop to what a cover 2 looks like, a Tampa 2. See him bailing out to the middle of the field. So he has hooked the curl, does a good job eliminating that guy. But now that the ball is gone, he should be turning where the ball is going instead of, to the man. But either way, cover 2, it was a Tampa 2 play there. And middle of field here, can't make the tackle on Barrett.
Hmm.
Go back real quick. Just a QB draw right up the gut. Everyone else is in man coverage, so it's at the center, just, barreling downfield right at Peppers. He's got an open lane right there. He stopped. You see him stop as he approaches that blocker, and then the go. Where's the go? Where's that explosiveness from that?
Mm-hmm.
To catch J.T. Barrett. Come on. All right, here we go. Some coverage here. This looks top of the screen. It looks like man. And it looks like he is in man coverage here. Just based on, it looks like both corners are in man. Yeah, we're in man coverage here. So, eyes in the backfield. As soon as that ball snapped, it should be on the man. That receiver sells it inside and then gets back vertical, gets a stem back vertical. And that's just an easy completion. There's really nothing. I don't know where his eyes were on that play. They should have been on the man as soon as that ball was snapped.
Yeah, technique was terrible.
Yeah. All right, top of the screen, trip set. That was a good job. All right, so he's got the trip set. Looks like they're just in zone or some kind of it looks like they're in zone. So he probably has a hook to curl the flats there.
Mm-hmm.
Does a good job of getting to his zone and taking away that tight end. And there's a reason, and we saw this maybe, I think, in the first game. There's a reason. Of course, they got the 3-on-2 here versus the 2 receivers. There's a reason they put him on the outside. There must have been a tendency for, I don't know if this just is a tall receiver or it's a tight end, but there had been a tendency that they saw on film to keep him out wide. You know what I'm saying, John?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they kept him out there. He does a good job on that play. There's really nothing there. And a good tackle in the open field.
Good tackle, yep. Is this all 2016 film?
Yes. That's a good job in the open field. Nice tackle. I like the fill there. And this is great because you'll see the entry point for the running back. He has an option to go right here. Of course, he's not reading that. He's reading the running back here. He's good vision right to the running back. Running back cuts it back. Of course, the running back gets a first down, but just a good play, a good read by him and stick, right at the first down marker. And he wrapped him up really strong there.
Yeah, it was a solid tackle.
Before, as we looked at the numbers before we went and looked at the film. quite productive, and it seemed like he had a lot of plays for loss. I'm not seeing too many of those. This is he's to the top of the screen, and again, I think that's a tight end. I'm not positive, but I think that's a tight end. And where are the ball skills? Okay, he gave up the pass. Is he ripping there? It looks like he's in there trying to rip the ball out.
Is it completion?
Yep.
Well, I mean, a lot of those plays that you're talking about, like, where are they? They're probably against the Indianas of the world, the Northwesterns,
The Hawaiis.
The Hawaiis, teams lesser competition, far lesser competition. And
You're right.
And are a lot of those quote unquote splashier numbers coming from the lower level schools? Because if it is, I don't even want to see that really.
Right.
These are the games you need to watch because these are the players he's going to be going against.
And you're right, and I'll put that out there because we chose 3 games, and the reason why we chose these 3 is because of the different types of offensive schemes he was going to be playing against, but also because of the level of competition. Because you want to see how a player can play in these critical moments, and I mean on this play, it's a well designed play. They have a pulling guard here, so it looks like a gap run. But look, he just sells out. He sells out there, and it's hard to see as far as who he has in this. If they were the run option here, my guess is that he would have this running back. So because you'll see this inside linebacker, he would have the quarterback here. He would have the running back, and this would be your alley player. So, I mean, it's a good play by him. His eyes are in the right place, and he's reacting. But right up the gut, and he was playing inside backer there too. So,
so they pretty much were, they could see it perfectly right here from this angle. They were waiting to see if he bid on it.
Right.
As he bites, they're gone.
Right.
He's gone.
So I mean,
He pursued right when the ball was snapped. I mean, he didn't even let that play develop at all.
And it's hard to say here because
you got that pulling guard.
Usually he's not. This guy's not blocked. So usually he's like the read man or the guy that's kicked out by him. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a mix up, especially if you watch the angle here by 9. It looks like he's trying to go to the running back, not to the quarterback. So there is a possibility. It's hard to say for sure that they used his aggressiveness against him, and they showed that run action. They showed that
like right there, the arrow right there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where he should be. He should be right there. I mean, he over pursued and look where obviously the play ends up.
Right. So yeah, I mean, after looking at it from that angle, it does look like that possibly was his fault.
I mean, because he over-pursued. I mean, he really should have took on that block with the guard if you go back to that play.
Right, stayed tighter, yeah.
Yeah, instead of, he opened that thing wide open.
This play, he did a good job to the wide side of the field. I mean, he's coming a long ways. He does. It's a pretty good angle because you want to attack him outside. Obviously, stay up to the outside shoulder there, and I believe this running back or receiver he knew that, and that's why he had to cut back. Peppers had a good enough angle to get to him. He makes a play of it though on 3rd and 9, huh? No way. I was gonna say. So this is double OT. We kind of lost sight of that. This is OT. Wow. And this is the time. Obviously, college rules are a little different, but so that was a good play by Peppers there. He contained the play, did his job. This player just made a heck of a play, getting some yardage out of that.
And he ended up getting a little piece of that at the end. Oh, he didn't get. I remember that play. Yeah, he didn't get that.
They gave it.
They gave it to him. Oh, yeah, they did. That's right.
I see. This is just good coaching, man. They know they're going to be in man coverage in this situation, so they motion that guy, that tight end. Of course, Peppers goes with him, and they just wash everyone out. See if there's another angle. No, there's not. And man, this is a really nice play. I mean, you see
If
the
you look at the
blockers out
corner,
here.
hmm,
Look at this
it looks
center.
like it looks like he went a little too hard to the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't keep his responsibility in the alley there.
Right, and that's and for people that don't realize, but by motioning guys or by adding a fullback up here off the line of scrimmage, you're creating a gap. So yeah, he's running with this tight end to stay in his man coverage responsibilities if it is a pass, but it also creates another gap here. So these run fits and these run responsibilities do change. So it looks like this strong side linebacker right here fills the B gap. All right. So he's got the B gap. He's got the C gap. So he's kind of free. And it's kind of been the theme for him. He's been kind of free for the most part. But he's running full bore to get with that tight end. He does kind of over pursue and almost – does he take out his corner here?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you can see the corner wants to push him back inside because he took on the corner's block and left the corner out like pretty much in no man's land when 42 should have been really the one to clean up that play if he would have took on his block, which would have been the inside tackle or guard there pulling. But, yeah, he wanted nothing to do with those pulling offensive linemen, so he went for the little outside cornerback.
Right.
And consequently, those big offensive linemen.
Well, I don't know about you, man. That was a good film to watch, especially towards the end because of the OT and whatnot. And it looked like, in the critical moments, they actually used Peppers, what he's good at, his, flow and aggressiveness and his way to, his disruptive type of play against him, to get buried in that end zone on that play. We assume, I mean, it's hard to tell, exactly, but we assume that's the case. But for right now, I mean, again, that was the first 3 games that I watched on Peppers. I'm not sold on as a first-round pick, honestly. No. I don't think he's as good as Cravens was last year, and just comparing the two. And I don't think he's better in any aspect or trait, honestly, John. I mean, do you agree with that?
I haven't seen it. And, we watched 50 plays, maybe more right there. And,
right.
I mean, he had one Johnny on the spot interception. And other than that, there was a couple plays that he disrupted a little bit, but nothing where he actually went out, sought the play, and made an immediate impact. So, I mean, a little bit here and there, but nothing to warrant first-round pick. So, if I have to grade him right now, he's a mid-second round pick, and that's being generous.
Right. And that's not with seeing, we saw his value as a kick returner, a punt returner, some running in that last game, excuse me. But if you're going to add, value as a running back, I'd have to see more film because I did see some good things on those returns. I like those cuts he was making. Right.
He's got the build. He's got the build. He's got the feet. He's got the vision. Those are like top 3 things you need to be a running back.
Right.
It's unfortunate that maybe there is not enough tape on him at running back because that may be where he ultimately finds a home.
Right. And to kind of wrap things up, I mean, we started the video cast with, showing you a couple of clips of him in the weight room. But to me, I mean, yeah, he's built, really well. But honestly, he should be working on speed. He shouldn't be working on short muscle and trying to get, diesel and trying to get big. He should be working on his speed and agility. Not just to help him if he wanted to play running back down the line, but even that's part of his limit is his straight line speed, and I don't see that stop and go, that quick twitch out of him. He should be working on that. Don't you agree, John?
I do. And, who knows what the scouts are telling them? They might be saying, hey, we want to play you at outside linebacker in a system similar to what the Bills are going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So we want a faster guy or, a rangier guy, so to speak, that's a little lighter. But, for him, he needs to focus on his strengths. And his strengths are his, lateral agility and obviously, things like that. So, we'll see. I mean, again, Erik, I'm not sold for him on safety. or a linebacker certainly, and now I'm questioning whether or not he's a viable option at safety. So
especially full time, right?
Especially full time. Again,
Yeah.
I think he's a luxury pick for a
Right.
team that's already built, that really doesn't need him, so to speak. But that, in New England, a team that already has a culture, that already has some sort of a framework going already for them. But an upstart team that's looking to build, I don't think he fits that particular type of organization at this point in the game.
Right. No, I agree. All right, John. Well, it was fun. We went a little longer than we had, thought so, but we wanted to, get through some good film, and we'll be doing this from time to time. We got a long off season, long draft season, so we'll be doing this again. Thanks for joining me today, John, and have a good day, bud.
Thank you, bud. We'll see you.